Subscribe to my YouTube channel, share it with your friends, and comment your thoughts. The blood on her shirt wasn't hers. The classroom was silent, too silent. Anna stood frozen at the front, her breathing uneven, her white school shirt torn wide open at the shoulder. A streak of red smeared across her collar. It wasn't her blood. Behind her, the three girls who had cornered her just minutes ago were nowhere to be seen. Only the chalkboard stared back, empty and blank, like it had witnessed everything and chose to forget. The door creaked open. It was Miss Parker, the chemistry teacher. Her eyes caught the state of Anna's clothes, the torn fabric, the strange stain, the pale terror in her eyes. And for a second, her mouth opened like she was about to ask something, but she didn't. Instead, she blinked, closed the door behind her, and said quietly, "You're late for third period." Anna didn't move. She couldn't. The pressure in her chest was swelling. The sounds, the laughter, the threats, the ripping sound of fabric were still ringing in her ears. "No one will believe you. Who'd believe a charity case like you?" one of them had whispered, pressing a hand hard against her shoulder. But someone had seen. Someone had to have seen, didn't they? 2 hours earlier. Anna didn't ask for trouble. She didn't talk much, didn't dress flashy, and she never reacted to the comments. For 6 months, she'd been the invisible girl at Mount Lawn High. At least, she tried to be, but that morning something had changed. She had found a note in her locker. No name, just 2 lines in sharp black ink. "Stop pretending you belong here. We'll show you who you really are." It wasn't the first note, but it was the first one that felt like a threat. Still, she crumpled it and walked into her first class. Head down, eyes on the floor. She thought if she kept quiet, they'd get bored. They never did. It was after lunch when everything spiraled. She had stayed behind in the empty art room to finish a painting, a quiet space where she could breathe. That's when the door clicked shut behind her. 3 girls. Chelsea, the ringleader, blonde, rich, loud. Her smile was venom wrapped in lip gloss. Mina, her shadow, always quiet but cruel in a quieter way. And Zoe, who laughed too loudly when someone else cried. Anna barely had time to turn when Chelsea grabbed her wrist. "Don't scream," she said sweetly, "or we'll say you hit us first." "What do you want?" Anna's voice came out thin. "To put you in your place," Zoe said, circling her like a vulture. They didn't punch her. That would have left marks. No. This was psychological warfare. They yanked her bag away, dumped her sketchbook across the floor, kicked her paints. Chelsea pulled at the buttons of her shirt one by one. "Let's see what you're hiding under there, charity girl," she sneered. When Anna tried to fight back, Mina shoved her against the sink. Something sharp cut her cheek. Barely a nick. Chelsea laughed, but then paused when she saw the red spreading on Anna's shirt. "Oh crap, what did you—" she started. Zoe froze. Mina went pale. In a second they backed off. Chelsea hissed, "If you tell anyone, we'll say you attacked us, and they'll believe us. Everyone always does." Then they were gone, leaving Anna shaking, her shirt torn, her paints destroyed, and her eyes locked on the red streak on her shoulder. But the blood wasn't hers. She looked around. There, on the corner of the table, a single drop. One of them must have scraped against it. Mina, maybe? It didn't matter. They made the first cut, but they didn't realize. They had just opened something in her that wouldn't close. Now Anna sat in the bathroom stall, her shirt buttoned up as best she could. She dabbed her cheek with a wet paper towel. Her phone buzzed in her skirt pocket. "Message no name, just a number. I saw what they did. I have proof." Her heart stopped. Another buzz. Photo attached. Hands trembling, she opened it. It was a still from a hallway camera. She hadn't even known there were cameras near the art room. It showed Chelsea standing by the door, clearly blocking the exit. In the next photo, Zoe was reaching into Anna's bag, and then Chelsea's hand on Anna's shoulder, holding her in place. Proof. Her breath caught. Who sent this? Another message came through. If you want revenge, meet me in the boiler room. After school, come alone. Anna stared at the screen. A part of her wanted to run to the principal, to scream everything, but another part, the one that had been stepped on, mocked, stripped of dignity, stayed quiet. That part was awake now, and it didn't want justice. It wanted revenge. 15 p.m. Boiler room. The door creaked as Anna stepped inside, dark, dusty. The humming of pipes and a flickering light above. She almost turned back, then a voice from the shadows. "Close the door." She did. From behind a pillar, a figure stepped out. Hoodie, backpack, head down. "I've been watching them for weeks," the voice said. "You're not the only one." Anna's eyes adjusted. The face was familiar. A boy from her class. Quiet. Always alone. She thought his name was Luca. He pulled out a tablet and showed her something. A folder. Chelsea, Mina, Zoe. Videos, screenshots, messages. Luca looked up. "They did it to my sister last year. She dropped out. No one listened. But I did. I collected everything. And now, you're the trigger." Anna swallowed hard. "Why me?" "Because they finally slipped. They left evidence, and they messed with the wrong girl." She didn't speak for a moment. Then she whispered, "What do we do?" Luca's smile was cold. "We destroy them." Later that night, Anna sat on her bed, tablet in hand, shaking. The videos were horrible. One showed Zoe pinning a freshman girl against a locker, demanding money. Another caught Mina mocking a girl with autism during gym class. Chelsea was the worst, verbally abusing a teacher, recording it and laughing. Anna couldn't believe how many victims there were. And no one had spoken up. Until now. Luca's plan was already moving. Tomorrow morning, a school-wide email would go out with attachments. But that wasn't the twist. The twist was in the final video, a private message Luca had intercepted. It showed Chelsea crying in her bedroom, sending a message to someone named Aunt R. "Please," she said, "I didn't mean to go that far. If this gets out, I'm done. I can't lose everything. Not now." Anna stared at the screen. Even monsters cried, she thought, but they should have thought of that before they made her bleed. The files were sent, but not by her. The sun hadn't even risen yet when Mount Lawn High started to burn, not with fire, but with chaos. Phones buzzed. Teachers stared. Students gasped, because at exactly 6 a.m., a mass email hit every inbox. Students, teachers, office staff, even the head principal. Subject line, "The real faces of Mount Lawn." Sender, Anna B. Via school email, but Anna hadn't pressed send. She jolted upright in bed, sleep still stuck in her eyes, her phone vibrating non-stop. Dozens of messages. One stood out. "Luca. It's done." Her stomach dropped. He had sent it. 30 minutes earlier, Luca sat in the darkness of his garage, hoodie up, eyes locked on the laptop screen. He had accessed Anna's school account through a back door he'd set up the night before, while she had watched the videos, heartbroken and shaken, unsure if she could go through with it. She'd said she needed time to think. But Luca had already made up his mind. "This isn't just about her anymore," he muttered. "It's about all of them." His fingers danced over the keyboard. Upload, attach, schedule. He hesitated for only a moment before hitting send now. He thought Anna would understand. Eventually. Now. 6:15 a.m. Anna's fingers trembled as she opened her inbox. Everyone had received the files, videos of Chelsea, Mina, and Zoe, bullying, stealing, mocking students, and even faculty. Screenshots, audio, everything they'd done, captured and revealed. And her name was on it, from Anna B. To entire school. She hadn't clicked send. But no one would care about that now. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She picked up. "You little witch," Chelsea's voice hissed. "What the hell did you do?" Anna swallowed, keeping her voice steady. "You're scared now? You don't "Know what you've started," Chelsea snapped. "I'm going to ruin you. Watch." The line went dead. Anna stared at her reflection in the mirror. Her heart was hammering, but a part of her, deep, dark, and fierce, was smiling. 4:45 a.m. School entrance. Anna walked through the front gates and felt it, all eyes on her, some full of shock, others awe, a few respect. She passed a group of juniors whispering, "Is that her?" "Bro, she exposed them all. You see that Zoe video?" She's a legend now. But not everyone was impressed. At the end of the hallway stood Principal. Harrow, arms crossed, jaw clenched. "Anna Blake," he called. Her feet moved slowly toward his office, heart pounding again, but for a different reason now. Inside the principal's office, the door clicked shut. Mr. Harrow leaned forward, eyes sharp. "Did you send this?" "I didn't press send," she said truthfully, "but it came from your account." "I was given those files," Anna said, quietly. "Someone sent them to me, someone who's been collecting them. I only watched them yesterday." "You expect me to believe that?" Anna didn't blink. "Yes." There was a long silence. Then, to her shock, he leaned back and sighed. "Knew Chelsea's group had a reputation," he muttered. "But this is something else." He tapped the desk. "Chelsea's parents are already threatening legal action. Zoe's mother is crying outside. Mina's in hiding. And you, whether or not you hit send, you lit the match." Anna looked him in the eye. "No, sir, they lit it. I just stopped putting out the flames." He paused. "Then, you'll stay in school, for now. But I'm opening an internal investigation. If you remember anything else, tell me." She nodded. As she turned to leave, he added, "One more thing." She looked back. "Whatever happens next, it's bigger than just you now. Be ready." Lunch period. The fallout begins. Chelsea didn't show up. Neither did Mina. But Zoe did. Her hair was tied up, her face bare without the usual makeup, and her eyes were hollow. She spotted Anna in the cafeteria and stormed over, slamming a tray down across the table. "You think you won? You think people are gonna love you now?" she snapped. Anna didn't flinch. Zoe leaned in closer. "We made one mistake, just one. And you want us dead for it?" "You made 1,000 mistakes," Anna said quietly. "This was just the first one someone actually noticed." Zoe's lips curled. "You think you're better than us?" "No," Anna replied, standing up. "But I'm not afraid of you anymore." Zoe shoved the tray off the table and walked away, eyes burning. Later that day, the message nobody expected. As Anna left school, Luca was waiting across the street. His eyes lit up as she approached. "You saw the reaction?" he said. "Like a kid on Christmas. We did it. They're done." Anna crossed her arms. "Why did you use my account?" "You hesitated." "I didn't. You made me the face of this." "You were always the face," he said flatly. "No one would have cared if it came from me." She paused, unsure how to respond. Then Luca leaned in, more serious now. "But there's something you should see. Something I didn't send." He pulled up another file on his phone. A video, blurry but clear enough. Anna squinted. It was Chelsea, crying again. But this time she was whispering into her phone, pacing her bedroom. "I messed up. They have files on me. Tell Dad to move the money now. If it leaks, we're finished." Then a pause. "And make sure Luca doesn't find out." Anna blinked. "Wait, what did she say?" "She knows me," Luca whispered. "She knew I was collecting info. She's been playing dumb this whole time." Anna looked up. "So she has secrets bigger than bullying?" "Much bigger," he said. "Something about embezzling money. Her dad, the school, and now they're hiding it." Anna stepped back, stunned. "Luca, what is this?" He stared at her, jaw tight. "It's not just revenge anymore, it's exposure. Everyone's corrupt. Chelsea's father funds half the school. That's why no one ever touches her. Until now." Anna suddenly felt cold. She thought she was exposing a bully. Now it looked like she had stumbled into something much bigger, something dangerous. Evening. A knock on the door. Anna was eating dinner with her mother when the knock came. A man in a suit stood at the door. Sharp haircut, sunglasses, too formal for their quiet neighborhood. "Anna Blake?" he asked. She hesitated. "Yes?" He handed her a sealed envelope and left without another word. Inside, a short letter, typed, unsigned. "You've seen too much. Stay silent, or you won't walk away from this clean. No more files, no more digging, no more emails." Her hands went cold. Someone was watching. Midnight. Message. Anna sat on her bed, heart racing. She messaged Luca. "Anna, someone knows. They sent me a warning, a real one." Luca, "I got one too, I don't care." Anna, "Maybe we should stop." Luca, "Not now, especially not now. We're closer to the real truth than ever." Then he sent a photo, a blurry screenshot from a video. Chelsea's father handing Principal Harrow an envelope. Caption, "Bribes." That's how she stayed safe all these years. Anna didn't sleep that night. Her war had just begun, and she was starting to wonder if she'd survive it. They threatened her silence, but she chose fire. It was 3:02 a.m. Anna couldn't sleep. Her room, once a sanctuary, felt like a trap. Shadows crept along the walls, and every creak of the floorboards outside made her flinch. Her phone screen glowed beside her pillow, still open to the threatening message. "You've seen too much. Stay silent, or you won't walk away from this clean." No name, no number, just silence after that, she wanted to tell her mother. But how do you explain that you accidentally uncovered something criminal? Worse, what if her mom was in danger? "To now?" Her hands trembled as she typed. "Anna. Luca, are you awake?" Luca, read immediately. "Haven't slept. I've been digging. Found something insane." "Anna, tell me." Luca, "Not over text. Meet me at our spot. 7 a.m. sharp, 7 task a.m. The spot. It was the abandoned greenhouse behind the school gym, overgrown and forgotten. No cameras, no gossip, just shattered glass and wild vines. Luca was already there, pacing. His hoodie was up. Eyes bloodshot, fingers twitching. "You were right to be scared," he said as soon as she stepped in. "I thought we were just exposing school bullies. But Chelsea's dad, he's involved in something deeper." He pulled out a USB drive and handed it to her, downloaded from the city zoning database and pieced together with what I found on Harrow's laptop. It's about a fake education grant, money that was supposed to go to Mount Lawn's underprivileged students. Anna blinked, and it never did. It disappeared. Millions, Anna, gone. And guess who signed off on it? He opened a screenshot. Head trustee Charles Whitmore, Chelsea's father, and next to it another name. Oversight Officer James Harrow. Anna's knees almost gave way. "They stole from poor kids," she whispered, "and now we're the only ones who know." That same morning, Principal Harrow's office. Anna sat across from Mr. Harrow again. But this time something in his eyes had changed. He wasn't just angry. He was afraid. He slid a sheet across the desk. "You're suspended." "What?" she asked, voice sharp. "Until we complete our investigation. Your behavior has disrupted the school. I can't have you here turning students into activists." She stared at the paper. "You're protecting them." "I'm protecting this institution." "No, you're protecting yourself," she said coldly. He didn't deny it. Anna stood, heart racing, eyes burning. "This won't go away just because you silence me." He didn't look up, and that silence told her everything. The fall of Mina. By midday, social media had exploded again. Someone else had come forward, Mina's ex-best friend, Kara. She posted a video titled, "The Time Mina Made Me Fake Cry Rape." Because she was jealous, the school froze. The video spread like wildfire. In it, Kara cried, shaking, saying she was forced to accuse a male teacher of assault 2 years ago, just because Mina wanted him gone for not giving her an A. She said he was creepy and deserved it anyway. Kara sobbed. But I was 14. I didn't even know what I was doing. Students stared at their phones in the halls, whispering. In horror, Mina didn't show up to school the next day, or the next. Rumors said her parents had pulled her out. Fled the city. Zoe cracks 2 days later. Zoe snapped in class. When a student called her a mean girl turned fraud, she screamed and threw a textbook at him. The teacher tried to calm her, but she lunged. It took 3 staff members to pull her out of the room. She was escorted out in tears, and yet no one clapped, no one cheered, because the mood had shifted. What once felt like petty revenge now carried a dangerous weight. These girls hadn't just been cruel, they had been protected, backed, and now abandoned. Anna's world tightens at home. Anna's mother received a call. Your daughter is being watched, a voice warned before hanging up. Police refused to help. No threats had been directly made. You kids played these internet games, the officer shrugged. Maybe don't post things next time. Anna's mom was shaken. I want you to stop, Anna, she begged. This isn't worth it. But Anna's mind was already racing ahead. I can't. They'll get away with it. They always do. You're 17, her mother whispered. You're not invincible. I don't want to be, Anna said, tears in her eyes. I just want the truth out. Luca has a plan later that night. Luca messaged her a simple plan. Step 1. Go public, completely public. No more anonymous leaks. Step 2. Link it all. Bullying, fraud, bribes, fake accusations. Step 3. Dump it online. Time it with Chelsea's family gala, where her father would be honored as Philanthropist of the Year. Anna hesitated. That's dangerous, she said when they met again in the greenhouse. I know, Luca replied, but it's the only way to burn it all down. She thought of the other girls, Mina hiding, Zoe melting down, Chelsea fuming in silence. She thought of Harrow's cold silence and her mother's terrified eyes, and she knew this had never just been about her. The gala. 1 night only. The grand ballroom sparkled with crystal lights and expensive suits. Charles Whitmore stood proudly at the center, holding a glass of champagne, smiling for photos. But just as the keynote speaker approached the mic, a new video went live, projected behind him on the ballroom's giant LED screen. Hacked by Luca's friend, flashed the title, The Truth About Mount Lawn. Watch before it's taken down. Then the video played. 10 minutes of recorded bullying, fake accusations, screenshots of bribes, emails linking Charles Whitmore to the fake grants, Principal Harrow's quiet approvals, and finally, Chelsea screaming at Anna, I'll destroy you, my daddy owns this town. The crowd gasped, phones flew into hands, panic spread like fire. Charles froze, then reporters in the crowd stood and began shouting questions. Security scrambled, but the truth was already out. Back at home, the fallout Anna and Luca watched from her living room. The live stream had peaked at 750,000 viewers in under an hour. News outlets were already reaching. Out Reddit threads exploded. TikTok was full of clips. Twitter, now X, trended with Mount Lawn exposed, and then a knock at the door. Anna's heart leapt. This time, it was not a threat. It was 2 detectives. One of them held a folder. Inside, an arrest warrant for James Harrow and Charles Whitmore, the detective said, thanks to a very public leak. Anna almost fell to her knees. The final blow. The next morning, Chelsea showed up at Anna's door. No guards, no car, just herself and a suitcase. I'm leaving the country, she said coldly. Thanks to you, my family is ruined. Anna didn't say a word. Chelsea's eyes were empty. She was a shell. I used to feel sorry for you, she said. Now I just feel nothing. Anna looked her in the eye. That's the first honest thing you've ever said. Chelsea turned and walked away. Anna watched her until she vanished down the street. The monsters in suits came knocking. It began at sunrise. The town was still asleep when the real danger arrived. Not the girls, not the threats, not even the school. This time, it was the system. Anna sat on the edge of her bed, still, in her hoodie, watching the video Luca uploaded on loop. It had gone viral overnight, over 1.2 million views. Major news networks were running it on morning shows with titles like "Elite Family Exposed in High School Corruption Scandal," "Teens Revenge Shakes Local Power Structure," "Mount Lawn, How?" A girl fought back and then won, but that feeling of victory, it was already fading because at exactly 6:47 a.m. there was a knock at the front door. Her mom opened it and immediately her voice cracked. "Anna, come here, right now." Anna ran down the stairs. 2 men stood at the door in suits. Not police, not reporters, federal investigators, inside the living room, 7 a.m. The men introduced themselves calmly. "Department of Education Oversight. We'd like to speak to your daughter about a fraud case involving Mount Lawn High." Anna's mom looked at her like she might faint. Anna nodded slowly. "Can I have my friend Luca join? He helped gather the evidence." "We're aware of Luca's involvement," one of them replied, and that's when Anna realized they had been watching, long before the leak. The conversation wasn't warm. They asked how she got access to school files, how she downloaded zoning records, who helped her, whether she'd hacked anything. If she had more evidence, she answered honestly, but the mood in the room shifted when they asked the last question, "Did you keep any backups?" Anna's mouth went dry. She paused too long, and the agent leaned forward. "We're asking because if there are other copies, and they fall into the wrong hands, this could escalate." That's when Anna knew they weren't just here to protect justice, they were here to contain it. Meanwhile, Luca gets a warning. Luca didn't make it to Anna's house, because on his way out, 2 men in a black car stopped him outside his building. One rolled down the window. "You're smart," he said. "Smarter than most." Luca blinked. "Who are you?" "Someone who thinks kids should be careful about what wars they start." The man tossed something out the window, a burnt USB drive. "Accidents happen, files get corrupted, stay in school," and the car drove away. The town turns cold in the following days. Something strange began happening. Yes, Harrow and Whitmore were arrested, temporarily. Yes, the news kept buzzing. But inside the town, doors started to close. The school board refused to meet with parents. Students who supported Anna started getting silent detentions. Zoe's breakdown was swept under the rug. Mina's history vanished, and Chelsea, she never left the country after all. Her family quietly moved her to a private estate. Her lawyer gave a press statement. "My client was a victim of an online hate campaign orchestrated by unstable students. We have reason to believe evidence was manipulated." The internet turned, divided overnight. Some praised Anna and Luca, others accused them of faking it for clout. And worse, conspiracy theories started. Anna sat on her bed one night scrolling through a post. "These videos are AI deepfakes. The whole story is too perfect. They're actors." Her name, her face, being ripped apart by strangers who didn't know her. The worst call a week later, her mom's phone rang during dinner. Anna froze as she listened. Her mother's face went pale. "They're revoking my nursing license," she whispered when the call ended. "An anonymous complaint said I was endangering patients." Anna's fork dropped. She stared in horror. It wasn't just her anymore. They were taking everything, piece by piece. Quietly, despair creeps. Inanna stopped going outside. News vans camped across the street. Her school login was deactivated. She couldn't even access her email. And Luca, he'd gone dark too. No texts, no replies. At first, she thought he was just hiding, until one night a different message came through. "Luca, they came to my dad's work, said if I keep talking, he loses everything. I'm sorry, Anna. I'm out." Anna didn't blame him. She just broke. She curled up in her bed, pulled the covers over her head, and finally allowed herself to cry. But then, a spark. The next morning, Something arrived in the mail. No return address, just an envelope. Inside was a photo, old, from a school. Lord Gala, Harrow, Whitmore, 3 other men. On the back, a name was scribbled. You missed the real head. And the location, Lakeside Lodge, June 15th, private. Anna's hands shook. This wasn't over. This wasn't just about Chelsea or Harrow. There was a bigger network, and someone wanted her to see it. The underground begins. That night, she pulled out an old notebook, every name, every date, every transfer. She started building a map, not just of what happened to her, but of the entire system. She searched for the other names, connections, board members, or quiet donors, and suddenly it clicked. There was one man above Whitmore, one donor funding the education system statewide, hidden, clean, a name that never made headlines but showed up just once in a leaked tax record. Luca had saved Gideon Ralston, and he was the one hosting the event at Lakeside Lodge. The decision, Anna looked at the clock. It was 2:14 a.m. She had 2 days to make a choice. Let it die here, or go straight into the lion's mouth. She reached out to Luca again, no answer. But then, minutes later, 3 dots appeared. Luca, you're not seriously thinking of going there, are you? Anna, yes. Luca, alone? Anna, not if you come with me. Silence. Then, Luca, we burn everything, or we die trying. 2 days later, Lakeside Lodge. The air smelled like pine and money, security at the entrance, men in earpieces, cars with black windows. Anna and Luca arrived dressed like catering interns. They wore badges Luca forged, carried trays. Nobody questioned them. Inside, the room shimmered with wealth, and at the far end, laughing with a glass of scotch, stood Gideon Ralston. Tall, silver hair, calm. Anna swallowed hard. In her pocket was a hidden mic, streaming everything. To a burner account they had pre-programmed to go live the moment she hit the panic button. Luca whispered, "Ready?" She nodded. Then she walked toward the man who ran it all. Inside the dragon's den, she was standing in a room full of monsters in tuxedos. Anna clutched the tray in her hands like a shield. All around her, wealthy men and women laughed, drank, and clinked glasses, completely unaware that she had come to burn their world to the ground. But Gideon Ralston, the man at the center of it all, wasn't unaware. He saw her, he knew, and he welcomed her like a guest, not an enemy. "I was wondering when you'd show up," Gideon said, swirling his drink. "You're braver than I thought." Anna didn't flinch. "You've ruined lives. You buried the truth." He chuckled lightly. "The truth," he echoed. "My dear, what you uncovered was only the first page. You think this started with Chelsea and Harrow? You think it ends here?" Luca, watching from the corner, adjusted the tiny lens pinned inside his shirt. The live stream was running. Over 18,000 viewers were already tuned in anonymously. There, a plan was working. But Gideon, he wasn't rattled. He leaned in close. "Let me show you something." The hidden room. He led Anna through a door behind the fireplace. 2 guards nodded as she passed. Luca slipped in silently behind her, unnoticed. They descended a spiral staircase into a private, vault-like room, walls lined with files, monitors, surveillance footage, donation records. This was the nerve center, where the real secrets lived. Gideon tapped a screen. Footage played, high-ranking officials, school board bribes, teenage girls being offered favors for scholarships, all time-stamped, all documented. He turned to Anna with a calm, terrifying expression. "You think I'm the disease? I'm not. I'm the only one managing it. You burn me, and this whole city collapses under its own rot," Anna whispered. "That's what I'm counting on." The trap. Spring, suddenly the lights flickered. Gideon frowned. "What is this?" Anna held up a small black key, a Wi-Fi signal jammer, and smiled. "You're not streaming anymore," she said. Luca stepped forward. "But we are still recording." Gideon's face darkened. "You're playing a very dangerous game." "No," Anna replied. You already lost. Flashback, 24 hours earlier, back in her room, Anna had realized something chilling. If Gideon knew they were coming, he wouldn't allow them to leave, so she changed the plan. She contacted her mom's old college friend, Felicity Moore, now a producer at a major investigative news network. I need an off-grid team, real journalists, someone who's not scared. Felicity sent 2 documentary investigators and a drone team to the lodge early that morning, hiding in the woods nearby. While Gideon thought Anna was live streaming, the real footage, audio, video, files, was being captured from the outside, untouched, unstoppable, present. The turning point, Gideon suddenly grabbed Anna by the arm. Do you understand what you've done? He hissed. You've lit a fuse under people who have nothing to lose and everything to destroy. Anna didn't back down. For the first time, she said, the world will see what you really are, and they'll burn it down without my help. Just then, pounding footsteps echoed from the stairs. Security, Gideon barked. Seize them! Anna and Luca turned to run, but they were cut off. 2 guards grabbed Luca. Anna reached into her pocket and hit a single button on her watch. Boom! Deafening blast sounded above them. Not an explosion, just the fire alarm. Sprinklers burst overhead. Lights went red. Confusion. Screams. Gideon cursed. Anna shoved a rolling cart down the hallway, knocking over 2 men, grabbed Luca's hand and ran. The escape. They tore through the kitchen exit, soaking wet, breathless. Outside, the drone team hovered above, live streaming now to over 300,000 people. Twitter and YouTube were on fire. Lakeside leak, Chuck Gideon files. To justice for Anna journalists were already closing in. Police scanners began buzzing. Gideon was still inside, but his empire, his silence, was over. That night back in Luca's basement, Anna collapsed on the couch. It was over. Not the healing, not the scars, not the grief, but the fear, the silence that was gone. Luca checked his phone. 500,000 views already. It's not just going viral, it's going global. Anna stared at the screen. Headlines rolled in. Breaking. Corruption ring in. State education system exposed. Anonymous teens leak evidence of abuse, bribery, and cover-ups lawsuits. Already being filed against school board, private donors, and in the corner of the footage, Anna's face, soaked, shaking, but unbreakable. The aftermath, the next few weeks were a storm. Investigations opened across multiple states. Gideon Ralston disappeared. Rumors said he fled the country. Mount Lorne High was shut down indefinitely. Chelsea's family was charged with obstruction and interference. Whitmore and Harrow were both indicted on multiple counts. Even Zoe and Mina were pulled into deeper scrutiny. The whole rot was finally exposed. Anna's mum got her job back, with an apology. And Luca, he got an anonymous scholarship. Full ride. Journalism, any school he wanted, but the most powerful moment came quietly. One letter, a single envelope arrived in the mail. No return address, just a handwritten note. I watched everything. I believed you. Thank you for not letting me be erased. Anna didn't know who M was, but she cried for the first time. She cried not from pain or fear, but from hope. When the silence breaks, we took down monsters. But what if they were just the messengers? Anna's voice echoed in the silence of Luca's dim basement. The phone screen still glowed between them. The anonymous message pulsed like a living thing. The story's not over. We were just the small fish. You ready for the real war? Luca looked at her. Do we answer? Anna didn't blink. We already did. 2 weeks later, a strange invitation. Anna had tried to return to normal life, if normal even existed anymore. But people knew her now. Some whispered, some stared. A few thanked her with trembling voices and tearful eyes. She never responded. To the fame. She didn't want it. But then an envelope came, cream-colored, embossed in gold. Inside, a formal invitation to a private leadership summit in D.C., hosted by the Eckhart Foundation. a powerful think tank claiming to support youth justice initiatives. At first Anna laughed, another secret society. But the sender's name stopped her heart. Marjorie Eckhart, one of the original donors to the Lakeside Lodge, one of Gideon Ralston's oldest allies. Luca warned her not to go, but Anna felt something shift in her gut. This isn't just about school bullies anymore, she said quietly. This is about how deep the roots go. The summit, behind the curtains, the event was lavish, too lavish. Crystal chandeliers, security with earpieces, carefully curated panels with smiling politicians and wealthy CEOs talking about youth empowerment. But Anna wasn't interested in the stage. She watched who slipped in and out of the side doors, who never made eye contact, who looked too polished to be real. Then, around 4 p.m., she spotted her, Marjorie Eckhart, hair coiled like silver wire, eyes sharp enough to cut glass. She moved through the hallway like a queen. Anna followed. The final confrontation. She caught up in the hallway. "Mrs. Eckhart," Anna called out. The older woman turned slowly, studied her like an artifact. "Ah, the girl from the leaks." Anna didn't flinch. "You funded the lodge. You worked with Gideon." Marjorie raised an eyebrow. "Worked with? Child, I created Gideon." For a heartbeat, Anna forgot how to breathe. "I knew what he was doing. I paid for it," Marjorie continued, "and I still believe it was the only way to keep the system clean." Anna's voice trembled. "By destroying innocent girls?" Marjorie shrugged. "Every empire is built on bones. We made sure they were the right bones." Anna stared at her. "You're not even hiding it." "Why should I?" Marjorie stepped closer. "You think exposing one man changes a system this old? That taking down a few corrupt teachers brings justice to a machine built on power, favors, and silence?" "You're wrong," Anna said. "Am I?" Marjorie smiled coldly. "You had your moment, but moments fade." Anna's real plan. But Anna didn't come to confront Marjorie. She came to record her, the same way Luca did with Gideon. And this time, the footage didn't go live. It went straight to the press. Straight to 3 investigative journalists already, investigating dark money in education. But Anna added something else, a statement. Her voice, unfiltered. "My name is Anna Martinez. I was bullied, violated, silenced. I was told by men and women in power that my pain didn't matter, that I was a tool to be used, a problem to be solved quietly. They were wrong. What they did to me, they've done to hundreds of girls. They just didn't think anyone would speak. I'm not going away. And now neither are the voices they tried to erase." Aftermath. The earthquake. The Eckhart clip exploded. Major networks picked it up. Other survivors began coming forward. Teachers, students, even parents. A congressional inquiry launched into the private funding of public education. The system didn't collapse overnight, but cracks appeared, and in those cracks, light. Anna's healing begins. A year later, Anna visited her mother's grave. She brought flowers. She brought silence, but this time it didn't hurt like before. She whispered, "I did it, Mom. I told the truth." She didn't cry. She smiled, then walked away, lighter, freer. Luca's new life. Luca transferred to a top journalism school. He ran an independent channel now, Whistle Line, giving voice to the voiceless. He still messaged Anna weekly. Still. "Shaking the tree?" he once asked. Anna replied, "Always." Final scene. A classroom. 2 years later, Anna stood at the front of a room full of teenagers. She was a guest speaker now. She told them her story, not the sensational parts, not the viral ones, the real parts. The nights she almost gave up, the letters no one answered. The moment she realized she wasn't the one who should be ashamed. One girl raised her hand, teary-eyed. "How did you survive it?" Anna smiled gently. "Because I stopped waiting for someone else to rescue me. And I started rescuing the truth." Closing. Line A's. The class clapped. Anna gathered her notes and stepped into the hallway. She passed a bulletin board lined with quotes. One caught her eye. She paused. It read, "Sometimes losing everything is the only way to find who you really are." She touched the words lightly, then walked out the door, sunlight pouring over her face. She wasn't just a survivor anymore. She was a storyteller, a truth-teller, and she wasn't afraid of the darkness because she had become the fire. The end